key players in the oil and gas industry have taken all necessary measures to discover the subsurface treasure. Intense, high-level negotiations with both Saudi Arabia and Kuwait authorities ensued. Since Western Geco required an exemption never before granted, in the interest of achieving the technical objectives of this project, the physical international border separating the two countries had been considered as non-physical. The project represents a splendid economic opportunity for both countries. It harbors enormous economic benefits for Kuwait to ensure the future of the generations to come. The same goes for Saudi Arabia, enabling it to thrive and obtain new resources to further enhance the economic growth of the country.
This is a strategic project for both Kuwait and Saudi Arabia. This is one of the biggest channel count seismic crew in the whole world, and the first to cover both Kuwait and Saudi Arabia. The new three-dimensional seismic survey will provide a better understanding of the subsurface geology. The survey puts into perspective the capabilities of Western Geco in terms of standing up to the new obstacles and challenging environment.
The Partitioned Zone project is situated in the southeastern part of Kuwait, extending from Al Wafra fields to the northeasterly side of Saudi Arabia, covering a surface area of 4.6 thousand square kilometers.
More than 50 years of exploitation of the existing reservoir, it's critical to find a way how to arrest the production drop of the mature field. To strategically arrest the production decline, you need to add more reserve, which is to explore more reservoirs and fields.
In view of executing this astounding project, the contract was signed between the two legal entities, Western Geco and Joint Operations, on January 26, 2014. The work started in view of putting into place the work plan under the management of Western Geco.
Western Geco is operating in Kuwait since 1966. We are almost 50 years now in Kuwait, and we are one business segment of Schol. In this project, we are covering the Partitioned Zone between Kuwait and Saudi Arabia, working for Wafra Joint Operations Oil Company.
Having successfully completed the Jurassic project in North Kuwait, preparations for the Partitioned Zone project began by moving the entire mobile camp, inclusive of equipment and personnel, to the new site, a distance of more than 200 kilometers round trip. Western Geco has also taken care of transferring all work sections from Al Abdali project to Al Wafra, in addition to transporting work-related equipment, vibrators, vehicles, and inline equipment, while ensuring their safe arrival to the new project site. Western Geco has taken all security and safety measures for the march of the new crew on the highway, crossing 210 kilometers round trip.
هذا المشروع الحقيقة هو مشروع حيوي في المنطقة المقسومة البرية. هذا المشروع الحقيقة عمل ومنذ فترة في مراحل قديمة إلى أن وصلنا إلى نفذ هذا المشروع الحمد لله على أرض الواقع منذ أغسطس 2014.
A comprehensive working plan has been developed, areas surveyed, acquisition blocks selected, and all preparation measures discussed and agreed upon by all stakeholders. Thus, challenges have been identified together with the ways to overcome them.
These operational meetings are very important due to the dynamics of the ever-changing operational conditions. Changes to this plan are discussed and decided upon to ensure that the operational stays on track to meet the overall project safety, data quality and production objectives.
The international border, which consists of 3 security checkpoints, represents a constant hindrance to smooth operations. Even with the required paperwork and permits needed for staff and equipment, the never-ending border crossing was no easy accomplishment.
Sustaining a 24-hour seismic operation requires an immense amount of manpower and equipment, including vehicles, to transport an average of 600 plus personnel from 25 different nationalities and need to get passes for them. Western Geco coordinate with Joint Operation Exploration Team in order to obtain the required passes for all the personnel and vehicles for Kuwait and Saudi border crossing.
The project is extremely important to us. For the first time, the full extent of the partition zone is covered by one seismic project. We have signed the contract in January 2014, and today we have reached 62% acquisition. We are executing this job 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, and we are using 2 sources, vibrators as well as explosives. We are also using our unique single sensor high resolution receivers, and we are expected to complete the job by February 2016.
The open desert presents a number of unconventional hazards ranging from harmful creatures to extreme climate, in addition to all the other hazards common in the industry. Driving, however, still remains the greatest risk to personnel in our operations. By the end of this project, it is estimated that our teams would have driven over 6 million kilometers, enough to circumnavigate the globe more than 150 times.
In the early morning of August 2nd, 1990, Kuwait was woken up to the sound of Iraqi tanks and cannons invading its lands. Before defeating the former Iraqi regime in the Desert Storm battle in February 1991, the Iraqi forces have laid a large number of minefields and left behind excessive amounts of explosive remnants of war in Kuwait lands. Although the war ended 24 years ago, and most areas have been surveyed for scattered ERW, some are still hidden and pose the threat of detonation every day. For this reason, a specialized mine clearance company has been subcontracted and tasked with the responsibility of clearing every inch of the work area Western Geco personnel are expected to work prior to occupancy. The mine clearance team is comprised of qualified and experienced personnel with armored vehicles, in addition to specially trained dogs working meticulously to identify any threat to personnel. The clearance is always done in coordination with local authorities.
Okay, here at TDR we use mine detection dogs in order to cover difficult to reach areas, like for instance pipelines, culverts, farm areas, road verges, in order to ensure we've got the most effective clearance by all tools possible. We use them in conjunction with a mine roller system, which is pulled by a KAMAZ armored vehicle, and the roller system is to ensure that we get 100% coverage of the area to clear it as efficiently as possible.
Each morning, sometimes as early as 4:30 a.m., begins the toolbox meetings where the work plan is explained and awareness raised about current potential hazards that may be encountered throughout the day. This ensures efficient operations and incident-free performance. A base camp strategically located within the area of operation was established to enable employees to perform their daily tasks with the highest degree of efficiency.
It is also important they know about the operations they are tasked to do that day. Before each shift starts, each section conducts a toolbox meeting. This is a major tool for getting the message of safety across to our workforce.
Vibrators work around the clock, guided by a highly professional team with the most advanced technology in order to acquire the data necessary to image the subsurface. Drivers have been rigorously trained in accordance with Schlumberger's standards and in accordance with local and client regulations to comply with the security and safety measures as stipulated in its regulations. A large team supports the vibrator logistics, including providing these giant machines with their requirements during the work and all that is required to execute the project according to the preset time schedule.
In vibe section, we have 21 DXCT vibrators. We work in 24-hour, 7 days per week with 2 shifts. There is minimum 2 senior staff per shift in the field. Our target in vibe section is to achieve the highest production with the highest quality and most safely way without any downtime.
The existence of local camps throughout the desert was another challenge, which was faced while the vibrators were performing their daily tasks. Western Geco needed to carry out its work without prejudice to the local campers existing throughout the prospect area. The main task of the Western Geco Technical Division is to provide many of the project requirements and ensure the quality of work, including the maintenance and repair of all land equipment, wireless communication maintenance, internet connectivity, and computers in the worksite, in addition to the management of spare parts. A huge number of cables is used in this project. If extended linearly, these would cover the European continent north to south, starting in Amsterdam and ending in Athens.
To give you a quick glance how these challenges look like, it's more than 500 employees crossing international border with their trucks and tools, going through minefield, carrying 2,800 or more kilometer of cables, and 56,000 of gags, number of gags. This is, if it's not impossible, this is a hard mission.
Given the immensity of the Partitioned Zone project, Western Geco has purchased a number of vehicles suitable for work in desert areas in order to facilitate the movement of equipment and the transportation of workers from one site to another in the project area. In Saudi Arabia territory, preliminary scouting survey carried out by the team has shown intermittent clay areas, also known as sabkas, throughout the surface estimated at 15% of the project area, where the vibrators are unable to operate. However, Western Geco has accepted the challenge and designed and manufactured specialized tracked vehicles capable of maneuvering the difficult sabka environment. Drilling units are mounted on these specialized tracked vehicles and holes are drilled to prescribed depth in preparation for dynamite use. Dynamite is used as an energy source since the vibrators are incapable of operating in such areas. The recording team coordinates with the explosives team in order to obtain the best signal possible during the explosion. Another challenge this project was faced is related to the Sabah Al Ahmed residential area, the entire city was in the construction phase, which meant the vibrators had to maneuver and operate in a very congested and often unstable area without causing damage to the infrastructure. Western Geco has successfully executed this mission in the residential area with no footprint. The farms presented yet another challenge to Western Geco seismic operations, as around 3,000 privately owned farms existed. Western Geco has signboards displayed for the farm owners regarding the cooperation with the company.
نحن على يقين بأن لولا تعاون الأطراف كلها وجميع الهيئات وجميع الوزارات التي لها علاقة في هذا المشروع، وأيضا المواطنين اللي يملكون الحقيقة المزارع التي غطيت وستغطى في هذا المشروع الحيوي في الجنوب والشمال، لما لهذا المشروع يرى النور.
A natural reserve has covered a large surface of the project work site. As Kuwait gives priority to maintaining the environment and desert plants, Western Geco had to carry out operations in this environmentally sensitive area, leaving no footprint. This Partitioned Zone 3D seismic survey has faced other infrastructure-related challenges, highways and blacktops throughout the area, in addition to the high-voltage electricity wires along them. In addition to pipelines located within and outside the oil field, and several water towers that are vital for life in the desert, providing energy to the residential areas to be established. Remarkably, all challenges have been overcome without incidents.
If you look to impossible, possible is already there. So if there's a will, definitely there's a way.
So talking today, when we are 62% progress in this project, over 2 million man-hours free of any incidents, I'm very proud to be working as part of a great team in Western Geco and Schol, Kuwait. And I would like really to thank everyone and shake their hands and tell them thank you for the huge efforts and contribution you are doing 24/7 to make sure that we deliver what we promised and we maintain our reputation high as a sky.
Planning and determining the required objectives, following up and coordinating to achieve accuracy, working assiduously without fail. All are essential factors Western Geco has taken into consideration while pursuing ambitious projects, thus setting precedents and providing its ability to efficiently execute one of the most challenging seismic surveys in history. Yes, we accept the challenge.